tried to come to my door with it, and I was like, no, I'm good, thanks. He was like, no, take this. I was like, no, I'm not interested.
And after that, did he start spitting before he gave you the...
No, he was trying to be nice to me prior to that. And I was like, no, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm content, I don't need your religion. And then and it just escalated, and it got to the point where he finally started spitting at me.
How many people spit at you?
That was the only guy who's ever spit at me in my whole life, probably. I'm telling you, I have lived amongst Goyim. I've lived amongst non-religious Jews, non-from secular Jews. I've lived amongst from Jews from various different backgrounds, and the lowest people I've ever lived around were people in Chabad. They were the only people that ever threatened to kick my ass. They were the only people that ever spit at me. It's like I don't get it. So there you have it.
So what are the Ten Commandments?
All right, let's do the Ten Commandments. Well, I just want to say that what are they going to do if they find out about this? They're going to ban me. They're going to ban me from their shuls. I don't bomb in there anyways, right? And I'm already banned from some things, so I don't care. You know what I'm banned from? You're banned from certain shuls, right?
I have been in the past.
Are you banned from any restaurants?
No.
I'm banned from Pico Kosher.
No, why?
I'm banned from Pico Kosher.
Why?
That's been for years.
Why?
Because one time I was in there, and I was in Pico Kosher Deli. I was in there, and I'd been standing there waiting in line while they were for draying with the guy in front of me was 20 minutes. I'm the next person in line. 20 minutes I'm standing there at the counter waiting to eat. I'm starving. And I'm standing there for 20 fucking minutes while they're draying this guy. They have all these people that are all working with this one guy. Nobody's helping me. Then somebody other creeps in behind me, and when they're all finally done with this guy, the nerve of them, the ones behind the counter, took the next guy's order. Okay, what can we help? What am I? Chopped liver? What am I? Am I in the deli rack? Am I the chopped liver? Hello, I'm over here, and I'm like, what are you doing? So I raise my voice. They go, come on, you can't do that. You can't take this guy. You have to take me. And they were they got upset because I yelled, right? And they're like, no, And I don't remember, to be honest, at that moment, if I stormed out or if they told me to leave. Okay, but I do know that the next time that I came, and I was a regular customer. I'd been coming there for at least once a week, for weeks, for years. Every week I'd go there for years. I was a good customer of theirs, right? This is how they treated me. So the next time I came back, they said, the owner said, the guys behind the counter had told the owners the story, and from their side, and they came back and they said the owner said that you're not to be served anymore.
Whoa.
I said, fine.
When was this?
So now, you know what I did? Starting the next day? Now I take my business to Jeff's Gourmet. Fuck them. You know what I mean? You don't want to serve me? Now, even if they took me back, which they never apologized for, but even if they were to take me back, I wouldn't go to them. You piss on me, I piss back on you. And I'm sold on Jeff's Gourmet. Right? And then when was this? This was 4 years ago. It was 2006. It was during UCLA's run in the basketball playoffs. I remember that because it was...
Oh, yeah, I was dating a 40-year-old shiksa at that time.
Really? I was dating a 22-year-old Dembo. So there you go. So I don't go there. And by the way, they just opened up a restaurant next to it, a falafel place. It's really expensive. But
who did? Just Gourmet?
No. There's a new restaurant next
the
door.
Jews.
The Jews opened up a store next door called I don't remember the name of it. And I want to become a regular there just so I can put my go to the the one next door.
Oh yeah.
So you're not the only person getting kicked out of stuff around here. You're not the only one banned from things, okay?
Okay, cool.
I'm also banned from things. I'm a troublemaker. All right, so here we go. And let me give some background on this. Is everybody bored?
No, they're great.
Okay. There's the Ten Commandments in Chabad. So last week we were talking about Lubavitch, right? And we're talking about how there's some, how do you want to say, questions as to their approach. And basically, this is what I call, a satire, okay? Now, if anybody has a problem with it, first thing you need to know is this doesn't apply to everybody in Lubavitch. This does not apply to everybody, but it applies to enough of them that I can say it, and it applies to enough of them. If there's one person in Chabad this applies to, it's already too many. Okay, you ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay, the Ten Commandments in Chabad. You have to have a drum roll.
And the time is 7:58. It's 66 degrees. Should go for a high of 80 degrees tomorrow in Pico Robertson. And now back to the 10 Commandments in Chabad with Rabbi Rabbs.
Here are the 10 Commandments in Chabad. Commandment number 1, drum roll. You shall accept the Rebbe into your heart as your personal Lord and Savior. And even though you shall preach that Judaism forbids intermediaries between Jews and God, nevertheless, you shall secretly pray to the Rebbe at his grave. Commandment number 2. You shall loudly proclaim that God created the heavens and the earth, but at the same time, you shall make ridiculous comments such as the Rebbe runs the world, and you shall tell Jews to light Sabbath candles and put on tefillin, not because Judaism says so, but because the Messiah loves you. Number 3. You shall never publicly state that the Rebbe is dead. And you shall believe with absolute certainty that Elvis, Jim Morrison, and Michael Jackson are actually quite alive. Number 4. Even under threat of death, you shall never publicly state that the Rebbe is not the Mashiach. And you shall loudly proclaim that it is possible for a dead man to be the Messiah, even though the Rebbe himself actually said, and I quote, the Messiah cannot come from the dead. Number 5. When asked to name a Jewish holiday, instead of responding with Passover, Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah, or Yom Kippur, you shall respond with an obscure date on the calendar that has no relevance to anyone outside of Chabad, such as Yud this Kislev and Yud that Nisan. And you shall celebrate those dates by getting drunk and performing a seance for your dead Rebbe, and then waking up early in the morning and running to the living room to see if he delivered any presents overnight. Number 6. Even though you don't grow long payas, as the Baal Shem Tov advised, and you don't wear your tallest cotton over your shirt, as Hasidus has championed, and you don't even remotely dress like other Hasidic groups, nevertheless, you shall not only claim that you're Hasidic, but that all of the other Hasidic groups have it wrong. Commandment number 7. You shall love all Jews regardless of their backgrounds, and you shall welcome them into your communities and homes, all for exactly 6 months, at which time, if they haven't become Chabad, and they haven't accepted the Rebbe into their heart, you shall ostracize them, turn them into a pariah, embarrass them publicly, spit at them as you pass by them, and even threaten them with physical violence. Unless they still have long hair and wear an AC/DC t-shirt, in which case you shall continue to be nice to them because they are obviously less Jewish than you. Commandment number 8. You shall champion an outright criminal that stole millions of dollars, violated various labor laws, and compromised kosher food standards. And you shall falsely claim to do so because he's a fellow Jew. When in reality, if that crook weren't a Chabad member, you'd let him fry an electric chair. And when 6 Jews were murdered in a Chabad shul in India, including 3 rabbis, the only 2 victims you will ever mourn, post photos of, and consider to have been alive will be the Chabad couple that ran the shul. Chabad. Okay. Commandment number 9. Because you're allergic to all Torah observant Jews who aren't Chabad, you consider them a fungus in the way of Moshiach, and you do your best not to associate with them, the most honest thing you shall ever do is on your Facebook info page, where it asks for religious views, rather than identifying yourself as Jewish, you shall instead state that you are Chabad. And finally, number 10. Can I get a drum roll?
Da 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 da.